Living in Las Vegas starts now. Yes, it does. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. That groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. Yes, it does! Yahoo! Incoming! I am the God of Thunder. And now your host, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was. Mr. Scott. Welcome, everybody, to the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Oh, thank you so much. And by the way, let me be the first to congratulate you because you're watching or listening to the longest running podcast about Las Vegas that actually originates from Las Vegas, which means that we're not only going to cover what it's like to live here, but we're going to be talking about our adventures. Where? On the Strip, downtown, Fremont Street, other cool places here in this valley. And by the way, if you're a tourist or a visitor, maybe you're a fan, you might even be thinking about moving to Las Vegas. Well, guess what? This show's like your own secret handshake to all things cool and groovy. By the way, the free show is available on the first and third Tuesdays of every month at 7 o'clock Pacific time at VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Again, VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. As Christina Aguilera might say, come on over. Come on over, baby. There's some pretty groovy things happening over here. First and foremost, pre-show. That's right. We start our show at 7 o'clock, lying as long as Cox allows it to happen. And so far, so good. And we do the show for about an hour. And then after the pre-show, we do post-show. We do VVN 2.0, Vegas Video Network After Dark, where you get to hear what we really think. There's some things that we say on the show that that are on record. But there are some things that we want to say, but we can't say it on the show. So that happens in the post. By the way, you also get to meet some of the nicest people in the whole wide world. That's right, the live chatters. These are the loveliest bunch of coconuts in the grove, if you will. You can see them on the screen right now. You see Gregor and Pops and Bill, and there's Ted and Bob and Mike and Ace of Bats and Vegas Wheel. All kinds of cool people up there, and they're in the live chat to welcome you, give you what are in essence digital hugs, and say thanks for being a part of our family. These people show up sometimes an hour before our show because they love each other that much. It's pretty fantastic. By the way, I'm your host, Scott Whitney. Konnichiwa, buenas noches. How you doing, hot stuff? I am the owner and proprietary of the Vegas Video Network. So on behalf of the entire network, thanks for watching all of our shows. And on behalf of this groovy little podcast, thanks for playing along as well. But I don't do this alone. There are some things I do alone, but this is not one of them. Wait a minute. I have done this alone. Oh my God. It all has a kind of a masturbatorial vibe to it. I have to stop now. I'm a little turned on. Not by me, by this man right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Pimpin' Wayne.
And really, I mean, can you blame him? I mean, if you had this sitting across from you for an hour and a half on the first and third Tuesday of every month, you'd be a little hot and bothered.
It's a wonder I can get any work done. By the way, if you check his lower 30s change, he's now the international sensation, as opposed to previously he was a man of mystery of something. Domestic man of mystery.
But now I'm international.
Primarily because of Canada.
Correct.
Right, Canada likes us.
Which is a nation that is
friendly.
Out of the country.
That's right. That makes it a different nation and international. And they're the nicest people you ever meet. Mm-hmm. Have you ever met a mean Canadian?
Never.
Unless they play hockey. Those mother will knock you out. But other than that, and speaking of live chat, excellent segue. We have a couple new live chatters. John in Ohio, he wrote, I bought a new Roku this summer, and there you were. Hi. I am a musician also. I dig what you're doing. I noticed that Wayne is from Northeast Ohio. He is. What's weird about John from Ohio, his actual name is Dave from Poughkeepsie. That's right. Everybody's from Poughkeepsie. So, John, welcome to the live chat. Thanks for playing along. Also, arguably one of the best chat names I've seen, HoosierDaddy. Hoosier, like the basketball Hoosier thing. Indiana, thanks. HoosierDaddy, his name is Ron from Santa Barbara. I'm not sure where the Hoosier part came from, but he found me after I posted on Quora. Do you remember Quora?
I don't. No.
So Quora is this website where people ask questions and you answer them. And for a little while I thought, well, I'll spread my seed by answering Las Vegas questions. So I did this. This had to be 4 years ago. I'm like, it's not going to work. No one's going to watch me. Boom. There you go. HoosierDaddy, Ron from Santa Barbara, has discovered us because of Quora. So let's get started.
Let's, as long as that entails you keeping your seed.
Mr. Whitney, we would ask you to keep your seed, please. Do you want me to keep my seed? Nope. Keep your seed. So today's topic is going to be called Part 1, Filing a Small Claim Suit here in Las Vegas. A little background, if you please. So I have been running my own business now for coming up on 20 years. November of this year will be my 20th year of running my own company. And it's interesting. While I was in California, before I moved here, I had no problem getting paid for the work that we did. And back then it was just me doing the work. At the beginning it was website stuff and then music stuff. And when I moved here it was mostly podcasting and online broadcasting stuff. But when I was in California, again, people paid me. And I moved to Las Vegas and I initially was working with people in California and I never had a problem getting paid. Never really occurred to me as it was a problem. But then getting paid became a problem when I started working with local businesses. And this became apparent because people discovered me and our companies through the Vegas Video Network. So people would see what we were doing there and say, hey, that looks pretty cool. Can you do something like that for me? Absolutely. And all of a sudden, I occasionally bumped into this. Come to find out, arguably one of the top issues for small businesses is, wait for it, getting paid. A lot of small businesses struggle with that. There are people out there, there are companies out there, as a matter of fact, whose sole job is A, to get you paid, or B, I'll give you a loan waiting for invoices that haven't been paid in 90 days. It's that kind of nonsense. So it's a pretty significant thing. And if you're a small business, it's harder because, I haven't got the oomph of a Fortune 500 company. I can't, browbeat somebody or muscle somebody to pay me. They have to pay me because it's the right thing to do, but I can't force a big company to do that. So it puts small businesses in a bit of an issue. And then when it comes to Las Vegas, Las Vegas is a transient town. And now you don't agree with that?
No, I just hate when people say
it's
that.
It's true as hell. And I see this a lot. I see people come in, tell a story about a business. A year from now, they're not here. And it's especially true for artists. I see a lot of artists who were here for a while.
But is that not true in other areas of the country as well?
Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, actually, I do know. So there's...
That was quick.
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute, Miss Scott. You actually do know. Give yourself credit. God damn it. You're a good guy. It is a transient town. A lot of people come here because they just think they can make it because, maybe it's because it's cheaper to live here, or I'm a gambler. I'll be a professional gambler, which never works. But so it just happens to be that way. And this not paying people is super prevalent in the entertainment business. So I have had conversations with a number of entertainers who performed for a producer, did something for a producer, and never got paid. Couldn't happen. And, when I hear that, oh my God, it just makes me so angry because it's just not the right thing to do. And I'll ask them, why would you allow that? Why wouldn't you force these people to pay? And the concern is it's intimidating for most people. The idea of filing a suit, it feels it's an intimidating thing. It feels it's complex. I think it might be a little spooky to get in front of a judge and argue your case. I had somebody today say, I'd be afraid of being wrong and being embarrassed in front of a courthouse or a courtroom. And the problem with that is that kind of behavior invites more bad behavior. There are people out there, companies, who are predators and just know that I'm going to hire you and I'm not going to pay you and you're not going to do shit about it because you're just not going to do it. And you see this sometimes on Facebook. Happens a lot in the photography world as well, where a photographer will hire a model and then not pay him. And these guys just don't know what to do. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I ran into a guy who saw our work on Vegas Video Network, and he liked it and came in, and he was the charmingest guy you'd ever want to meet. Holy crap, he was charming. And he had this great story. I've got this show that I've been picked up for on a local television station here. I'm looking to produce that content. I've seen the work you've done on the Vegas Video Network. Would love for you to do it. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. I've never done broadcast TV stuff before. Feather in the hat, I accept. So we worked out the deal, and we went to work on his show. It needed a lot of work to kind of be a show, and we got furniture and stuff, and we shot the first week, and he paid me. I'm like, look at me, I'm doing broadcast television stuff. That's fantastic.
Oh, I remember those days.
That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then we shot, and I'm not exactly sure of the time. I've blocked a little bit of this out, but I think we did about 3 weeks of other content, and he never paid for it. And I kept saying, hey, Rick, why don't you go ahead and pay this stuff?
Not his real name.
No, it actually, well, it kind of depends, and we'll explain what that means in a minute. So, hey, how about paying? Oh, no, everything's great, Scott. You're doing great. No, fuck, I know I'm doing great. How about paying us? Well, our sponsors are a little late, but they're coming. And then, well, the TV station hasn't paid me yet, but once we get paid by them, you're on track. Well, of course, neither one of those things were happening. So I filed suit against him, and I won. Small claim suit, I won $7,500. It changed the way I do business. I no longer believe somebody is going to pay me when they say they're going to pay me. They pay me first.
Now, can I clarify something, though?
You most certainly can.
You won $7,500.
Don't jump ahead of where I'm going with this.
Asterisk.
Don't jump ahead. Yeah, that's going to be the second. So the first issue is it feels intimidating to do it. It's scary, spooky. The second issue is this. Just because you win doesn't mean you get paid. And that's what happened in this one. So I have some friends who are running, sizable businesses, and they usually don't sue people because getting paid can be hard. If you're dealing with somebody who's a little shady in the first place, what are you going to do? Put a lien on their house? Fantastic. I've got a buddy.
Probably don't own one.
Right. I have a buddy who's sued somebody. One has had a lien on a house for 15 years. You don't get paid on the lien until the house gets sold. If they're not going to sell the house, you're not going to get paid. So that's great. What are you going to do? Are you going to garner their wages? I have, gone down that path. But come to find out, in my experience, my guy was a con man. And I don't mean I'm just giving him that name. No. He was actually a con man. We didn't know this until we started snooping around, and come to find out, there was a website about this guy, about all the things he did. We did some research. He had been popped for not paying child support, for ripping off veterans. The guy was bad news.
I think it was the definition of checkered past.
Holy crap. I feel like I had to take a shower every time I looked at that. And I actually created a site called ricktheconman.com to warn people about this. It actually generated a local CBS guy who did a big background story on him. And man, this guy is dark. And did I ever get paid? No. But I did reach out to a couple people where he was going to work and say, hey, listen, I just want you to know, you're dealing with a con man. Here's the money he owes me, and we're going to garner his wages if you work with him. And I did that, A, to get paid, or B, get him fired. And happened twice, and he got fired both times. So you have to fast forward now to date. Is it worth the time and effort to sue somebody if they don't pay you? And my belief is this. Yep, it absolutely is. This is standing up for what is right, what is fair. And it's even more so if you've got more than just yourself doing the work. I've now got, Nick helping me, and we're working hard. And so I found myself in another situation where a person signed a couple different agreements. We worked our ass off for him, and he decided that he didn't want to pay anymore. And so without going into a lot of the details of that, I basically said, okay, here's a solution that you could basically, instead of paying me this much that you owe me, you can pay me this and we'll be good. And he said, well, I don't want to do that. He made an offer, and I'm like, okay, that offer is interesting. You're at least responding to me. I would send him an email, and he'd wait 4 days and tell me, my email was in a spam filter. This guy's an online marketing guy, and he can't find me in a spam filter? Yeah, okay. So
you do. I will say, though, you do get caught in the spam filter.
Well, okay, fine. But if you know I'm coming, keep me out of your spam filter. But he offered a solution. I thought, okay, well, you know what? I have a slight modification to that solution that will mitigate my risk. Basically pay me what you want to do, but pay it up front so that I know that you won't try to cancel on me that you've already done before. And he declined, and that triggered the beginning of a lawsuit. So let's talk about small claims here in Las Vegas. First, prior when I did this, the limit was $7,500. That number has gone up. It's now $10,000.
In small claims,
yep,
huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Small claims is $10,000.
Adjusted for inflation, finally.
It is.
We were just talking about the original People's Court in California.
That's right. It's $3,000.
Maximum $3,000.
Yeah, I bet it's higher now. But it's $10,000 here. And what's interesting is it's monetary only, which means I can't sue somebody to get my dog back in small claims. I can't sue somebody because they're playing loud music next door to me. The judge has to give a monetary reward to the winner of that suit.
You have to have a loss of some kind.
Yeah, it's got to be a monetary loss, right? You've got to be able to attach a monetary value to it, is what I mean by that, right? So like I think sometimes you see on People's Court, I want my dog back. That actually is not a small claims matter.
Right.
Generally, the parties represent themselves. It's called pro se, which is PRO-SE. You represent yourself. Now, that's part of the thing that intimidates, I think, a lot of people is thinking that you have to argue your case in front of a judge. Attorneys are allowed in there. I think it's considered bad form to have an attorney in there. But you can do that, but you can't recover their fees. Now, I can have fees recovered for other efforts that I do on behalf of this lawsuit. But if I did have an attorney, I couldn't recover those fees. Now, I'm in a pretty good situation in that my dad was an attorney, a litigator, and a professor of law. And my daughter graduated from Harvard Law School and is a professor of law. So I am surrounded by lawyer folks. And I actually have a kind of an affinity for law and the idea of debates and that kind of stuff. I'm sure that shocks a lot of people. But I really kind of like that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it, which is probably weird. So after you decide, okay, this is not going to work out, what you have to do is send what's referred to as a demand letter. The demand letter is from the plaintiff, which is me, and goes to the defendant, and it has to be sent by certified mail with return receipt. So I have to be able to verify that this letter was delivered to the defendant. And then I have to wait 10 days after mailing the letter to file the case. So I'm going to give you an example of what a demand letter sounds like.
Okay.
Here's mine. Now, I'm going to keep his name out of it right now because we haven't served him yet. And until I serve him, it's not real. So I'll keep his name out for now.
Is that where you like have to go up and then have like a breakdance party with him, like when you serve him? Or?
I don't know.
Like you got served?
You sure you want a little bit of that, Zima? So at the top, it has my name and it has an address and his name and address. And it says at the top, certified mail, return receipt requested, the date. And it says, dear, your name, this letter is in demand for payment in the amount of X. Then the next line, and by the way, this is what I got from Clark County. I asked them, I did the last time, what's the right way to do this so that there's no problem? They're like, we have a template. I accept your template. I believe I am owed this amount as a result of the following facts and circumstances. So now what you're basically doing is laying out your legal argument for what it is that you believe you are owed. So I wrote, number one, I have actually two different agreements with this guy. So before it was a single agreement. You agreed to pay me X to do your shows. This is actually two paragraphs because there are two separate agreements that he did. So for the first one, number one, failure to pay as our signed agreement dated October 5th, 2015 for 6 months of Vegas Video Network production and distribution for a date based upon an agreed upon price of X dollars per episode, subtracting the first two episodes, creates a payment of Y. Your failure to pay as agreed invokes at my discretion Section H of the agreement, which states, in consideration of the special rates for volume advertising, this contract is non-cancelable by producer. It is understood and agreed that the producer shall in no event be relieved of any responsibility for time which they may not use as contracted for and by them. So what that basically says is there is no reason why you can cancel this. Even if I call your dog ugly, you still have to pay me. And he signed it, so well, that's a problem for him. The second one is failure to pay per our electronic agreement, which took place on November 3rd, 2016, for the renewal of your Vegas Video Network Co-op 12-month membership. Total due is X. You were instructed on the notice to membership page that cancellation of the automatic renewal of your membership must be done in writing within 10 days. In response to a question by somebody on your behalf, I provided an update of your membership via email to you, that person, and your partner on 9/25/17, indicating your initial membership would have concluded on 12 or 11/2. Here's the name of the email. Here's the date of the email. Because we received no such written notification, your Vegas Video Co-op membership automatically renewed for another 12 months, beginning on this date. Additionally, you acknowledge the fact that we discussed you would credit the Vegas Video Co-op payment of so much dollars towards your Vegas Video Network payment. That would not have been possible if you had canceled the Vegas Video Co-op. So that's
the defense rests.
That's right. So then the next part is you are hereby informed that you have 10 days from the date of this letter to pay the demand amount or make a satisfactory arrangement with me to fully resolve this matter. In the event this matter is not resolved to my satisfaction, then it will be my intent to publicly file an action in small claims court where I will also request that you pay the cost of suit associated with having this matter heard by a court. Please guide yourself accordingly. Sincerely, and then my name. Okay. So that was sent out, and I sent it out once, actually December 15th or so, and it came back as not delivered. And I thought, well, that's odd. And so I changed the address on the envelope. I added his business name. I added a suite number, which didn't make sense because he's in a building that you know he's in there. But I'm like, well, maybe that's it. Like, I don't know the rules. I did it. And then I got the letter back a few days ago. So
delivered.
Yeah. I got the little sign, green receipt that said it was delivered. I said in there that he had 10 days to respond, and he did respond with a short email. Now, the response was not to my satisfaction. So I will...
Objection, Your Honor.
So I'm either going to provide a response via email or have him served. So the steps to have him served are I filed a small claims complaint. So I have to provide the court with the complaint. I have to have a copy of the demand letter, proof of the mailing. I had to pay a fee. And then the plaintiff, me, receives a court date from the court clerk on small claims and provides me that date. Then the second step the third step, is the defendant is soived. And I can't do that, which makes sense. I can't say, oh, no, I served him, because there's a chance that
they have an independent third party.
That's right. That's exactly right. The defendant must be served by a third party at least 10 business days before the scheduled court date. So that's what's coming up next. Now, I've also done some research on this guy, and you'd be surprised how many things you can find in the public record. This is not a good guy. I'm not going to go into details, but he's not a good guy. In his background is not dissimilar to other things I found in the first guy. So had I known this, I probably never would have gotten in business with the guy in the first place. But I'm in. So what's going to happen now is this is part one. Part two will be once we go to court. I'll walk you through what happens, whether I win or I lose, how it was. Was it fun? Was it not fun? What he said, what I said. There's a lot of things in this case that are problematic for him. So we'll see how that goes. But that's it. Thoughts?
I think you're good as long as he doesn't pull out the Chewbacca defense.
Which is?
Oh, yes. No,
that's pretty good, right?
That's a shout out to South Park. So they have they have a Johnny Cochran. Remember from the OJ trial?
Oh, I do.
And he brings out the Chewbacca defense, which essentially is a glorified misdirection. And if Chewbacca lives with a bunch of Ewoks, then you must acquit.
Well,
because it doesn't make any sense.
Listen, if the Chewbacca offense comes out, I may just concede just because, well, fuck, this is Chewbacca defense. What am I going to do?
There's nothing.
Nothing you can do. I mean, it's there. So that's it. Like I said, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with that. But in the meantime, let's have a drink. All right. All right. right, it's time for Have a Drink on Me. It's part of the show where I show you a picture of a bar or a speakeasy or a pub or a tavern.
What about an ultra lounge?
You know what? I almost picked an ultra lounge for today. And the reviews were so bad. Like, this place is kind of douchey. I'm like,
no.
It's a pretty, well, it really is a nice looking bar, but like 2.5 stars on, Google and Yelp. I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to give these guys a little juice. So probably not an ultra lounge, but a lounge. I've spent a few days in a lounge.
What about a pool party?
Pool party. I am a pool party, really, if you think about it. So you see this picture and you look at it and go, I think I know what that place is. And you send us an email. And where do you send the email to? Well, you send it to Have a Drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com. Again, Have a Drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com. You submit your guess, and there's a number of ways to win. How many ways? 5.
Half a dozen.
5 possible ways to win. First, you provide us a correct answer. We put you in the hat. If you submit an entry and you're in the live chat at the same time, another entry. You've just doubled your pleasure, double your fun. But wait, is there more? Yeah, sure, of course. If you send a video or photo guess in, like you in front of a bar going, I think it's this bar, boom, 3 entries for that. What? If you're the first correct answer, the very first, I'm going to give you a double just for working hard and getting the job done. And then, of course, if you do an intro video for the entire show, something like, hey, this is Dave Smith from Poughkeepsie, and you're watching the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. You do one of those, I'm putting you in the hat as well. 5 different ways to win. Now, you may be saying, I hear the winning stuff, but Scott, what can they win?
They still in back order?
Yeah.
If you've got patience, then maybe you select yourself a Vegas Video Network visor. Hey, summer's coming, and it'll probably take that long to get these puppies back in stock. They're so hot. But you can select one of those and then just wait for the mail to come.
Yeah, sure.
Every day it'll be like Christmas in July. Hey, did I hear someone say Christmas?
Christmas in July?
Then what better way to celebrate Christmas in July than with Christmacoustic? Christmacoustic 2. Bust one out at Christmas time, save the other one for summer. And then you need something to get you through that fall season. There's always Gajazathon.
This is also good for summer parties.
It comes in a nice fall brown.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Or
it's coming back in 2018. But since we can't get any right now, I'm sure Scott will, unless you want that exact Zima, and I will autograph that if you are so inclined as well. However, Scott, and maybe me, you never know. Sometimes I go out and do crazy fan appearances as well. We'll buy you a drink. I'll let Scott pay for that one. I get Gator Arms when the bill comes. At your select choosing.
Thank you, Wayne. Okay, this was an interesting one. Wait a minute, Scott. I would like a little bit more than just being a winner. Well, of course you do. You're that kind of guy. For example, Scott, let's say I win and I get one of these visors, which are super rare.
So it's June is what you're saying?
Late.
Yeah.
And I take this visor, I put it on my noggin, I take a picture. It's
a selfie world.
All right, I send it back to that picture, and I give it to you.
This is a material world, and I'm a material girl.
Of course you are. I send that picture back to you. Scott, does anything magical happen? Does anything magical happen? Yes, you become a part of the galaxy of gods. There's Bill and Mr. Testy and Steve and Michael and Robert and Rosie and Michael again and Scott and Binky and Bob. And then there's Alan, but wait, there's more. There's Aaron, who are nudist, and Bob and his wife, and Danny and Shan, not Shan, and Craig and Glenn and Jimmy. But wait, look at that in front. And Stuart and Christina, whose all babies are because of my music. And then there's Don and, of course, Jackie. And then there's Mike. Look out! And Pops and Sammy and Carol and a dog and Chris and Ed and Scott and Wayne. And let's not forget our buddy Brett. Okay.
You okay there? The throat holding out? Yeah.
It's a little harder than
Grandpa.
It's a little harder than it looks, kids. Don't try this at home. Okay, let's look at last week's or last show's episodes. Have a drink on me. There it is.
See, that looks ultra loungy.
It does. Yeah.
I would expect to spend $18 on a drink there.
Without even breathing hard.
Right.
And the answer is Rosina at Palazzo. Rosina at Palazzo. Rosina at Palazzo. By the way, we had 19 out of 23 correct entries. So quite a few mistakes here.
Quite a few.
19 out of 23, that's 4 mistakes.
Oh,
that's a lot.
4.
Our people are usually on track. Our people are on track.
That's only like 88%.
A little disappointed at the people. Those 4 people, please, come
What's
on.
19 divided by 23? Let's do some quick
Math here.
19 83%.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was off by 5.
That's what's B.
Right.
That's barely a B. Come on, my people are A. I'm A people. All right. So let's see who we got for our entry. You've got your pen and your paper and your all stuff ready to go.
I do.
Fantastic. Let's go. Number 1 entry, Mike Q. This is the second time in a row he's been number 1. So he gets number 1 for the correct answer, number 1 for being the first correct answer, and number 1 more for being in the live chat. That's a triple, ladies and gentlemen, a triple.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Way to go, my
Not to be
brother.
confused with the drink that you will potentially buy them, which is a single.
A single, that's right.
Especially if you're at...
In a non-ultra lounge. Next up, we've got Monica Fagan, also known as Binky. And she gets 1 for the correct answer. And then we've got Mr. Testy, 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Mr. Testy. Previous winner, by the way. And then we've got Jennifer Slutia, who we are meeting tomorrow. And this is a nice change of pace, kids, because instead of me buying them a drink, they're going to buy us a drink. They even offered to buy Melissa a drink. She hasn't done this show in 3 fucking years, and she's still getting people who want to meet her. Come on.
She's got some legacy juice there.
I'm working my ass off here, and she gets a free drink offer. It's crazy. Next up, we've got Woody Accord, 1 for the correct answer. Woody's also in the live chat. No.
Do I get her drink?
Yes. And Woody gets 1 for being in the live chat under a special name called Lost 1 2.
Or you could just, you could get that drink for Melissa and then just pour it out for.
Yeah, every time I walk in there, she's like, "When are you going to get rid of these Zimas?" I said, "I'm trying to give them to him. He just doesn't drink the damn things. He's drinking less than he used to." Jack Adams.
He was red wine for like 3 months there.
Jake the Rake, also known as Jake the Rake, 1 for the correct answer. Terry, 1 for the correct answer.
Rough stretch.
Michael Snow, also known sometimes as Chicago Snowman, 1 for the correct answer. We've also got Bob Thomas, who's in the live chat, 1 for the correct answer. Bob Thomas gets 1 for being in the live chat. Moving forward, we got Richard, also known as Phase Jitter, which seems kind of freaky, but he gets 1 for the correct answer, and Phase Jitter gets 1 for being in the live chat. How about that? Andy in New Hampshire, a longtime player. I'm not sure if he's won, but God bless him for getting in there and mixing it up.
You can't win if you don't play, right?
That's right, you can't. Just like the hockey guy. You miss every goal you don't shoot, or fucking I don't know. Next up, VIP Donnie. And then we've got Mike Beatty.
We should do just a show, sports analogies with Scott Whitney.
Don't do that. That won't go well. Then we've got Paul, also known by his spy name Condor, 954, 1 for the correct answer. We've got Eric, who I believe provided a new co-op member to me. And we've got Barb Shotness, 1 for the correct answer.
Hopefully one that pays and doesn't have to get sued.
All right. She did ask, you have a 30-day guarantee, right? I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Steve I, 1 for the correct answer. Steve's always in the live chat because he's magical. Steve I, 1 for being in the live chat as well. It's a double. We've also got Bill, 98036, kind of a last minute one, but we're letting them play. Bill, 98 for 1 for the live chat. 1 for the correct answer. Bill, 98036, 1 for being in the live chat. Another double. And then we've got Greg Tapper, or we don't really know what his name is, but Gregor gets 1 for the correct answer. Gregor gets 1 more for being.
We did Gregor earlier.
Did we?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think so. Did I? No, I don't think I did. Different Craig.
Okay.
And then we've got Vegas Wee, also known as Pat Huey. 1 for the correct answer. Vegas Wee, 1 for being in the live chat. And then finally...
You know how many that is?
That's what?
Do
Vegas Wee. Do. That's very good. Well done. Well done, my brother. Well done. And then finally we've got Pops. Pops gets 1 for the correct answer. Pops gets 1 for being in the live chat. And Pops gets 1 more for this.
Hey kids, I keep urging everybody to send in videos. If you do a video, just be sure to put your phone or camera like this, not like this. And don't try that whole excuse about, oh, I've got a face made for radio. Everybody here is tuned in to watch Scott and Wayne for an hour with maybe a minute of me thrown in, so the bar's set pretty low. See ya.
6-time winner, Pops.
Well, you know what, Scott? You don't even know I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw a little curveball out there. You ready?
I'm ready.
I've got 1 bonus entry left. No. On this tab, I got 1 bonus entry left.
Yes.
The next live chatter that asks for the bonus entry, I will award this bonus
Okay, let's do
entry
it. The next live chatter who asked for the bonus entry, you're in, even though you didn't do anything of any value. We're waiting. Boom. Ace of bats.
Ace of bat. Oh, no.
Oh, wait. No, Bob. Bob T17C3. Ooh, that was a close one.
That was very close.
Wow.
You know what? Bob T17C3.
You also can tell which one has better internet access.
And you know what? On the scrap, I'm going to do Ace of Bats.
Because they both happen almost at the same time.
It was a photo finish.
It was a photo finish. I completely agree with that. Okay, we've got about 15,000 entries in here. This is a huge group. Even though only 83% of them got them right the first time, they made up for it by being in the live chat or other ways of getting more stuff. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Boom chicka lucka lucka boom chicka lucka lucka boom chicka lucka lucka boom.
All right. Again, let's remind everyone this drawing certified by Ernst & Young.
Right. Not the guys who fucked up the Emmys a couple years ago, or Emmys.
Yeah.
No, it was the Oscars.
I'm not sure. I don't watch any of them.
Hard to tell.
Which one are we always nominated for?
The Emmys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't like a local, regional. We
don't go to those. We don't want to compete with them.
Anyways, drum roll, please. You don't have a hot one. Here we go.
It's Gregor. Oh, see, begging does pay off. Oh, nice. Oh, by the way, Dan Jaggers, who won the last episode, I still haven't emailed you about what you like, but I haven't forgot. You're sitting right there, right next to Gregor. Okay, let's look at this week's Have a Drink on Me. Here it is. And here are your clues. Clue number 1. It could have been named after my GPA in high school. It could have been named after my grade point average in high school. To give you some help there, I
know what this is. I know where this is. I don't know what the name of it is.
Okay. Fun, right? Hit number 2. Do you know it because you're reading the notes, or do you know it? You recognize it?
I recognize actually the background gives it away.
It does a little bit if you, and actually that one little, okay, I'm with you. Hit number 2. If you're afraid of heights, you could go to this bar instead of another bar on this property. If you're afraid of heights, you could go to this bar instead of another bar on this same property. Hit number 3. This is a tough one. For musical people, if A equals 440, this equals 523.25. That, by the way, is my favorite clue. For musical people, if A equals 440, then this equals 523.25. If you know the answer, you're going to send it to Have a Drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com. Again, have a drink at VegasVideoNetwork.com. And by the way,
years ago.
Huh?
You and I went there years ago.
I've been there a number of times.
Yeah.
It's a good bar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I enjoy the whole
They have happy hours all the time.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the whole property.
As a matter of fact,
always have been.
In celebration, let's hit some emails.
Okay.
Wayne. Axl Rose is a bitch.
You know, I really thought in 2018 when the production budget got reset, I really thought that would we could get paid to get that changed.
Which part?
The part
Wayne?
where Well, I'm not in it.
It's a lot of work, man.
I know.
I would invite you.
If the budget were there.
If you could only learn how to do Premiere Pro or something, that would be fantastic. Just give me a little bit of help. All right. As part of the show where we read. You're what?
Like Bill Riley. We'll do it again. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Whoa! All right. Easy, Bill. How's he doing nowadays? Not great. Part of the show where we take emails from folks. Typically, if it's a female, then Wayne will read it. If it's a male, then I'll read it. These are all men folk. So we're gonna start with Wayne. Take it away, Wayne.
This is from Dan, and Dan writes. Good evening, Scott.
Well, hello there.
I guess I'm just chopped liver.
And
Wayne. Did you screen this first?
Why? What's it say? Is it bad? Don't read that part.
Okay. Good evening, Scott. I started watching your show on YouTube a few months back.
What's the date on that one?
October.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well.
See,
we're getting caught up.
Boy, yeah.
Good news is the next email is from December.
Okay.
I've been kind of skipping around.
Started watching your show on YouTube a few months, but still, it was before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, so he's what he's done.
Have a chat with Dan.
You know what he did? He does what a lot of people do. They see an episode and then they go all the way back to the beginning,
right.
and then they just go and they don't recognize that shit's happening.
I started watching your show on YouTube a few months back when I was applying for a job with my current employer that would bring me to Las Vegas.
Neat.
Last week, I started my new role as a vice president with my company and will be moving to Las Vegas in the next few months once I find a home.
Hey.
With that said, I want to start following your program live and in the chat room, but not sure how this is done using an iPad. Obviously, Dan has a higher IQ than the average bear.
Or
he's somewhat computer savvy, but have never joined a podcast live, signed into something like what you provide, etc. He's basically like Madonna. He's a podcast virgin.
Yeah, right.
Can you guide me?
Hey.
What do I need to do to participate in the future? Sure. I likely will not join on a regular basis until I move to Vegas, as Tuesday nights is bowling night.
No, well.
And as long as he lives in Rapid City, South Dakota, there's nothing else to do there. So I mean, you miss bowling night, and your whole week's shot.
I kind of get that.
But with any luck, he will be a full-time supporter of the program in the next 30 to 45 days, Dan.
Fantastic. So
Sent from his iPad.
Might be in the live chat now because we're in January. So the thing about our particular live stream capability is while it is mobile device capable, the live stream itself, the live chat is not. So if you go to, like on your iPad, you go to vegasvideonetwork.com/live, you'll see the chat and the live video look kind of the same. And if you click the video, it'll go full screen. You'll be able to watch it just fine, but you can't chat with us. So that's
you
that.
You can download the live stream app, but that's a completely separate chat.
Yeah, and we don't. That app now is focused on their new version of Livestream. We actually use their original version of Livestream, and the reason is because the delay in what's happening and what they see is about 2 seconds. The delay in the new version is about 15 to 40 seconds, and you can't have a conversation with your live chat if you're waiting 40 seconds for them to respond. So that's why we're not using the new stuff. But you can of course watch any of our shows on YouTube, and you can of course watch them on iTunes and Roku and Stitcher and TuneIn and Chromecast and Google Cleave, all that bullshit. Okay.
iTunes.
iTunes.
iTunes, Dan.
iTunes and both the video and the audio version for those who care about that thing. Next up, we've got from Lake Havasu H2O. Are vloggers allowed to vlog in casinos? Are there limits? Then he provides a phone number and address.
The answer to that question is yes, within reason.
Kinda is the answer.
Like anything else, if you're not drawing attention to yourself or making an ass of yourself, it's generally not a problem. What will get you in trouble is taking video of especially table games in action. Other people without their permission or in a big public setting. where you're kind of being obnoxious about it.
Yep.
But if it's just you and your friends and you're trying to, let me get a video of you on Instagram for everyone back home of you playing, Buffalo slot machine, or let's take a video of the Bellagio fountains, or I'm going to walk through here I am at the Bellagio Conservatory. Let's walk through it. You're not going to have a problem.
Yeah. So if you look at most of these casinos, you'll see somewhere up on a wall that says video is not allowed. It's very clear. And that allows them to position to say, don't do this. And Pops will tell you this. Pops, there's a subculture of people out there. And what they do is they film or shoot their gameplay, just the gameplay, with the hopes of getting a bonus so that they can put that bonus on YouTube. And people search for, Wheel of Fortune bonus on YouTube so they can see a bonus. And there's usually not many problems in that. And there's some vloggers who I've seen running around who do Vegas-based vlogs. Same thing. I've never heard any of these guys get in trouble. But like Wayne said, it's a matter of not being an idiot about it. If you're running around, and I've never seen anybody shoot a table game. No, that doesn't.
That
happen.
will immediately get you yelled at.
Doesn't happen. And he's right. If you're shooting other people without their permission, they're going to get pissed off. But I haven't really seen. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we're talking about doing for the premiere version of this is to do actually really hardcore walking tours and really kind of point out that's where you want to go. That's where you want to stay away from a local's perspective. So, yeah, you can do it, but you just, don't be a dick about it.
John writes, "Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Again, maybe you guys have problems with it. Wayne. It sounds more difficult than it is.
Super easy.
So,
WAIN, Wayne.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
I bought a new Roku 4 last month that
Roku,
actually
baby.
handles YouTube correctly. No rebuffering or any of those shenanigans.
That's nice.
I became engrossed with your podcast.
That's
engrossed.
Fantastic.
Many of them feature you and Brett.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you made the tribute show for Brett. He was wondering why Brett wasn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the tribute yesterday on Christmas Day and cried.
On Christmas Day?
This was how I felt when Tom Magliozzi died, one of the Car Talk brothers. Right, Tom?
Right.
Click and clack.
Yeah.
It dawned on me that's why I liked your show. You and Brett were like brothers. Thanks for your podcasts, and thanks for the tribute to Brett. I haven't joined your live stream yet, but look forward to doing so. And actually, I believe John's in the chat room tonight.
Who is this?
This is John from Ohio.
Oh.
John in Ohio.
I wonder if it's the same John in Ohio.
It is.
That's me, Wayne. Holy shit. Oh, hey, John. I would like to say, first of all, that's a very nice email. I would not recommend you watch that tribute show on Christmas Day.
Presents are open.
Even Brett would say, pump the brakes a little bit on that. You don't have to watch this on Christmas Day. Holy crap. But good to have John, whose last name is not pronounceable. And I do appreciate all the kind words. Okay, hey, we've got some time. Let's do a couple live chat questions. And that's, again, part of the cool thing about being in the live chat is you get to be part of the show. So HoosierDaddy said, are you worried about the decline in Bitcoin? And the answer is nope.
Me neither. I don't have any.
You're not into it. I am into it. I've, invested, a reasonable amount of money. But I did it because of the long term. I don't do it in the short term. So I'm not one of those guys, of which there are many, who think they can outthink the market.
Now, if this isn't a personal question, how long ago did you get in? Were you
November
in more recently,
29th.
or?
November 29th.
Okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah.
So you weren't like, you didn't get in like 6 years ago when it was like 40 cents a Bitcoin.
No, we wouldn't be here. We'd be at Rhodes Ranch or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Your new place where you're going, I'd have people actually not letting people in. And right, I can't afford that, but you can apparently because of what we're paying you. So, no, I'm not too worried about it. Look, this is all new stuff, and it's all. So the truth about Bitcoin is you have to understand what it really is, and it's
nothing.
The investment. Yeah, it's not. And I can go into great detail about what it is and how it compares to what's called fiat, which is the money that we use, and blah, 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 blah. But it actually is based upon the notion of the fool's bet or the fool's goal, which is you hope there's a bigger fool who invests after you. and pays more money. That's kind of what it is, because it's hard to articulate.
That's also how a Ponzi scheme starts.
Well, no. See, that's the thing. People say that, but that's not it. It's me taking money and buying other thing and returning that money. That's not what Bitcoin is. So it's not that.
No, but you need.
Nor
for
is
a
it
Ponzi scheme,
MLM.
I'm not correct. No,
It's not that.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it's similar in the sense that in that analogy that you just used, a Ponzi. If you were running a Ponzi scheme, you would need more money to come in to
Yes,
keep the.
that's right. But that's not what's happening. I'm not robbing Paul to pay Peter.
No,
I'm just
that. Well,
people are. It's not. That's not what's happening. It's not that kind of movement. But nonetheless, the underlying infrastructure of what cryptocurrency is, which is called a blockchain, there's a lot of value in that concept, and there are other organizations, or I should say, other categories of businesses outside of banking that are already doing this. And there's I think 400 or 200 or some crazy number of crypto coins. I mean, we hear about Bitcoin or Ripple and Ethereum and all that stuff, but there's a shitload of other ones. I think there is something to be said for it. This isn't the show to talk about it in great detail. I have a lot of opinions about it and know a lot more about it than I did when I first heard about it. So it's
Breaking news to
interesting.
CNN. Scott Whitney has an opinion.
I have an opinion. What? That never happens.
Wow.
Okay, Pops wants to know, do you ever do street food? If so, where and when? I wonder if that means like roadkill.
Oh, I thought maybe he meant like 10-second rule.
Yeah, well, no, it's okay. I'll eat it. It's a popsicle. How bad could it be?
You know what? That's not really a thing here.
It's not. There's a lot. So there used to be.
If you go to certain parts of town, you'll see like a taco truck or.
Oh, what's that one taco? Taco El Gordo is probably the closest thing to a street food like place that's legit and clean.
Or what's the place in downtown Container Park? That's that has the vulgar name that they say isn't the vulgar name.
I don't know. I don't really know much about Container Park.
You never been there?
Oh, yeah, I've been there half a dozen times. But I don't really know.
Someone help me out with Container Park. It's the it's got a vulgar name in Spanish, but they're like, no, it's not a vulgar name. It's a nickname.
And there used to be a really hot food truck vibe here, the El Cortez used to have I think it's monthly deal where all these food trucks would park in the parking lot across the street from them, and they had that vibe. But there's not really a street foodie kind of thing that I can think of.
Did we go down?
I don't know. Did we? Yep, looks like we did. Continuing on, will I be streaming for AVN? And the answer is nope. I will not be streaming for AVN. I've had media passes for AVN for the past 2 years, and I never went. A, because I think it's probably going to be depressing, and B, I had shit to do. So I did not go. Let's see.
Pinche's Tacos is what I was looking for.
What's it called?
Pinche's Tacos.
Oh, Pinche's Tacos. That's right. That is a dirty word.
They say it's not, though.
And what time we got here? Yeah, we'll do one more. I'd be interested in knowing how you guys feel about Vegas being so family friendly right now, as there are screaming kids in the hotel room right next to me. So Vegas actually used to be really hardcore family friendly. They were advertising this place as a family friendly place. And we all realized, as in the casinos realized, this is stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. And they stopped that Disneyland-esque Vegas-y thing.
On a big scale. It still exists on a
However,
micro scale.
We asked this person, where, actually somebody in the live chat mentioned that she was listening to screaming people in Vegas. She's a tourist. And we asked her, well, where are you staying? And she said, Excalibur. Oh, you mean the place where they have knights? And basically it's a cartoon themed place.
Well, the whole bottom basement is the fun dungeon.
Right.
Arcade.
So if you're at Circus or Excalibur, you're probably going to run into a kid or 50. If you would rather not do that, I'd say go to another property. But from our perspective, where I hang out, I don't bump into any kids. I'm guessing that you probably haven't done that either. Bumped into that either. No? Great.
No.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for playing along. Thanks for the live chat. And there's a couple of ways you can reach out to us. You can send us an email like those guys did at onairq@livinginlv.com. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. If you want to hear your own voice on our show, you can send us a voicemail. Really? Yep. You go to our website, you click on that little orange tab on the right side, and you click again, you click that green button, and boom, you're giving us a recording because you've got a microphone attached to your computer. You can also see us on the social media stuff. We're on iTunes, we're on Roku and YouTube. Roku, 73,000 accounts. Stitcher, TuneIn, Chromecast, Apple, Google Fire TV, Google Play, and of course the biggest video network website as well. All right, I'm Scott. That there over there is your Wayne. We'll see you guys next time on the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. Take care, everybody.
People are saying they have audio but no video.